Good morning, Earthlings. How you doing today? Josh Poet with you here for another edition of First Contact. So let's see, to start things off today on our Dream Spell calendar, today is a white resonant wind. White resonant wind. So white is the color of refinement. Think of like refined sugar, refined flour, white. The resonant tone, it's tone number 7. It's the bar and the 2 dots. The bar is 5, each dot is 1, so that makes 7. The resonant tone is called the resonant tone of attunement. And the symbol for today, which is the daykin, is the wind, the white wind. And the guide for today is the wizard. And if you notice, whenever we do the readings, the daykin and the guide are always the same color. And they're always going to be the same color. So today is the white resonant wind guided by the wizard. And this cosmic 18 right here, this is the month we are in, or moon, as it is termed in the dream spell system. The 13th moon, the cosmic moon. And it is the 18th day of the moon. There are a total of 28 days per moon. And at the end of this cosmic moon, because we know that when we get to 13, we've ended our cycle. Before we go into the next phase, there's going to be a day out of time, and that is on the 25th of this month. It's a day out of time, kind of like, imagine if after New Year's Eve we had one day off between New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, just to kind of figure out what we're doing, where we've been, and where we're going. So that's what's coming up. That's on the 25th, and then July 26th starts the new year. So the phrase for today is, I channel in order to communicate inspiring breath. I seal the input of spirit with the resonant tone of attunement. I am guided by the power of timelessness. And on the Gregorian calendar, it is Thursday, July 14th, 2011. So that catches you up to speed with the date. Next week I'm going to get a bit more in depth about the dream spell again. I'm just going to take every day and I'm going to do a little bit of description. One day I'm going to talk about the tones. One day I'm going to talk about the symbols. One day I'm going to talk about wave spells and how the Zolkin works, just to give you a little bit more information about that, keep you informed. So that's our date for today. Now Dirk Bradshaw has some news and information. We've played part 1 and part 2 of the government secret warehouse. Today we're going to do part 3, so enjoy. I'll be right back.
Next up on the Cosmic News Network, the Cosmic News with Dirk Bradshaw.
This man uses freeinla.com. He likes that it's updated daily. This man prefers to go to a rival site where it's updated once every 3 years. There you have it. FreeNLA can kick your website's ass any day. freeinla.com.
You know, it's always important to be in the know, to be ahead of the game. And in order to do that, you need to listen to First Contact Radio with Joshua Poet. News and information they don't want you to hear. Flying high above the planet Earth, this is the Cosmic News with Dirk Bradshaw.
Hey there, boys and girls, children of all ages. It is time for the Cosmic News with Dirk Bradshaw. I am Dirk Bradshaw, and tonight is the startling conclusion to our expose inside secret government warehouses and, of course, their shocking revelation. We've already traveled from Area 51 in Nevada, and tonight we go to the Vatican to go dig deep into their secret archives. This, of course, was the centerpiece of Dan Brown's Angels and Demons. And tonight we continue interviewing all the informants and all the leading experts as we give you the final word on what's really inside those secret government warehouses. That's tonight. You're going to want to stay tuned. Everyone will be talking about this tomorrow.
Knows exactly what secrets are in the Vatican archives. They are so huge.
All this when Inside Secret Government Warehouses continues. Our investigation into the world's most secretive warehouses brings us here to Rome, Italy, home to the smallest sovereign state in the world, but also one of the most influential. Vatican City. It is the headquarters of the Catholic Church and its 1 billion followers. And although its government rules over only 108 acres of land, the reach of its power has extended around the world.
The Vatican is an intriguing place because it's the oldest continuously existing organization on the face of the earth. You can trace it back 2,000 years.
The Vatican's role in shaping history is well documented, and some of it, like its support of the arts, is proudly on display here.
It's one of, if not the greatest, repositories of art, history, tradition, theology, and written material in the world. It is a treasure trove.
Behind me are the hallowed halls of Vatican City, and somewhere deep inside, the Vatican's secret archives. 52 miles of shelves holding thousands of documents. It is perhaps the richest repository of history in the world, and yet it is off limits to almost everyone. For years, scholars and citizens alike have wondered what's hidden inside. Is the Vatican guarding powerful secrets?
No one knows exactly what secrets are in the Vatican archives. They are so huge, and scholars are rather limited in what they're allowed to look at. I don't know that we'll ever know everything that they have there.
The secrecy and lack of access have stoked the interest of academics, writers, and even Hollywood. In the novel and later movie, The Da Vinci Code, it is speculated that the church might be hiding the truth about the bloodline of Jesus Christ. While in the movie Angels and Demons, an ancient document stored inside the archives holds the key to preventing a secret society called the Illuminati from exacting revenge on the Vatican.
This way, please.
The archives in the movie is a vast, highly secure, state-of-the-art facility filled with millions of documents.
The chambers are hermetic vaults. Oxygen is kept at lowest possible levels. There's a partial vacuum inside.
Could the real Vatican secret archives be a facility like this one? And could there be documents inside pertaining to explosive subject matter the church may want hidden? Like prophecies about the apocalypse, evidence of a supposed bloodline of Christ, exorcisms, or secret societies. Information that might alter our understanding not just of the church, but of history. Recent discoveries tell us yes. Vatican archivist Barbara Frale found a document buried inside that is key to understanding the Pope's role in the execution of the legendary Knights Templar. Many people believe that Pope Clement V led the investigation into the Templar Knights and disavowed them and led to their downfall. You have found a document. What does that document tell us about the story?
In 2001, we found in the Vatican's secret archive an original parchment belonging to Pope Clement V, who asked for a secret hearing for the masters of the Templar Order, absolving them, as he was convinced they weren't heretics. Now we know that the Church never condemned the Templar Order, and that it was the King of France's act of violence and abuse to cause the closure of the order.
Because this document was filed in the archives in a strange way, its existence remained unknown for hundreds of years. This makes me wonder, could there be other documents about other important pieces of history that have not been found?
Esistono milioni.
There are still millions of documents which are yet undiscovered in the Vatican Secret Archive.
So what else might be hidden unintentionally or intentionally inside? Much of the speculation about what is intentionally withheld is about end-of-the-world prophecies, like the famous Third Secret of Fatima. It is one of the most well-known and important prophecies to Catholics around the world. The story goes that in 1917, a vision of the Virgin Mary appeared several times to 3 small children near Fatima, Portugal. Today, a site where thousands of the faithful flock each year. During her visits, the vision is said to have shared 3 secrets about the future, but the Vatican only revealed the first 2.
The first one was a vision of hell. The second one had to do with the end of World War I and the beginning of another great war shortly thereafter if Russia wasn't converted to Catholicism.
But the third secret was withheld, leaving some, like Fatima researcher Christopher Ferrara, to wonder what it said.
In 1960, for reasons unknown, the Vatican let it be known that the secret was going to be placed under seal forever. But on June 26, 2000, the Vatican finally relented under mounting pressure and published a vision.
The announcement of a third secret made international news.
For years, people speculated that the third secret was actually a prophecy about the end of the world. Today, before 500,000 followers, a Vatican official revealed the secret. The vision showed a bishop dressed in white, shot down by a burst of gunfire.
According to the Vatican, the prophecy of the third secret was fulfilled on May 13, 1981. That's when the Pope, interpreted as the bishop in white, was shot here on St. Peter's Square as he waved to the faithful from his vehicle. But there are those who don't believe that explanation. They believe the real third secret may still be hidden inside the Vatican, and that it contains an even more startling revelation. A revelation about a global crisis.
The secret involves a crisis in the church and some kind of apocalyptic scenario that affects every man, woman, and child on the face of the earth.
I've been granted rare permission to enter the archives with our cameras to see what's inside. The first thing I'm shown is kept in the head archivist's office, and it exemplifies the kind of rich history that's stored here. Explain what this document is we're looking at.
This is the letter addressed to Clement VII from the Lords of the English Parliament, in which they ask the Pope to annul the wedding between Henry VIII and Catherine of Aragon.
This led to the Church of England breaking away from the Catholic Church, did it not?
Si.
But not all the documents get such a grand display. Most of them are buried deep inside the main archives facility. The Archives Secretary General, Luca Carboni, has agreed to meet with me and take me into the heart of it all. Can we go into the actual archive now?
We go to see the storage of the
storage,
archives.
where the archives
the storage.
We arrive at the main facility, and I'm instantly overwhelmed by the massive number of files that are before us. We are standing amid the history of the Catholic Church, but this is also an important part of the history of the world, isn't it?
The Vatican Archives is important in the world, unique because we preserve a continuous chronological space of over 800 years, from 1198 onwards.
Documents as varied as records of medieval families to letters from the brilliant astronomer Galileo, who had famous battles with church leaders of his time, live on these shelves. So you have a correspondence from Galileo.
We have a simple letter to a cardinal from Galileo.
So that's Galileo's signature.
Galileo's signature. From Florence in the 18th of December 1628.
There is just so much here. Is it possible that there are things here that even the archivists don't know about?
Yes, each day we discover something new or something interesting.
Hey there, boys and girls. Welcome to the epilogue of a 3-part series we've just did on inside secret government warehouses. You know, before we introduced that last segment, I said that this was the final word on the subject. And of course, you know, I have to retract that statement now, because I don't think there ever will be a final word. I don't think we'll ever know everything there is on this subject. And that means that you, the watcher, the listener, the audience, I don't even like to consider you an audience member. I like to consider you as part of the family, the Cosmic News family. It's now your responsibility to investigate this further, to continue on the research. And not only continue on, but send us these segments that you create. All the pieces you create, we do look it over. And, of course, a lot of our news comes directly.
Oh, man, I can't believe it's over. Where does the time go? Well, I see the fat lady's off the stage. She's looking right at me. It's time for me to go put her to bed. I hate goodbyes. So instead I'm going to say, until we meet again, I'm Dirk Bradshaw for the Cosmic News. Wake up.
What if our government was responsible for some of the greatest crimes against this nation? Would you really want to know? These are big questions, but these questions deserve answers. It's time to demand the truth.
People should not be afraid of their governments. Governments should be afraid of people.
9/11 was an inside job. Kennedy was killed by the CIA. Jimmy Carter saw a UFO. Answers to secrets you need to know. So wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. The evidence is overwhelming. Step past your fear, take a look. Illuminati lies keep growing. What they're losing from your eyes. And wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. What would our founding fathers say if they were alive today? Must be turning in their graves. Redcoats are coming, Big Brother's watching. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. One if by land and two if by sea, and I on the opposite shore will be ready to ride and spread the alarm through every Middlesex village and farm. Whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or abolish it. When a long train of abuses and usurpations, pursuing invariably the same object, evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government and to provide new guards for their future security. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Patriots arise. It's time to demand the truth. and this is the UFO news for today. So we've got a couple of stories here. First one is a UFO caught live on news in Turkey. Now I want you to take a look at this one and let me know what you think. This could be a fake. This could be real. I'm not quite certain. What do you think here? Let's see. Do we have any volume? I don't hear any volume. Do you? All right. What we've got here, I don't hear anything. But as the UFO comes along, you're going to see right up here. There we go. Okay. We've got a series of shots. Now, I'm not quite so certain if this one is a real one. Because if this is the case, then there's quite a lot going on. Because we've got 1, 2, 3 large ships somewhere in Turkey. And let's see if we can find out what's this say here. UFOs in Turkey, real or hoax? Alright, so the link will be up on our page at UFO News. Take a look at it. See what you think. This might be one of those fake UFOs, but we'll find out. Alright, another story here comes from The Guardian. Now it's called Weather Watch, UFOs or Temperature, but this is about an incident that took place a while ago. It says, the picture was taken by a Coast Guard through a window of Salem, Massachusetts, U.S. in the summer of 1952. It shows 4 unidentified flying objects as bright as lights in the sky. Now what happened was 60 years ago, America was shaken by a wave of UFO sightings in Washington, D.C. Some appeared over the White House itself. Were those extraterrestrials preparing to land? Or did the lights in the sky have something to do with the weather? The sightings lasted from July 12th to July 25th, 1952. Objects were sighted by many observers, including airline pilots, and picked up on military and air traffic control radar. On several occasions, F-94 Starfire jets were sent to intercept the intruders, but UFOs vanished when an aircraft came near. The objects were variously described as orange balls of fire, clusters of red or orange lights, or white lights. President Truman took a personal interest and demanded an explanation from the Air Force. On July 28th, 2 USAF Major Generals held a press conference at the Pentagon. They explained that the UFO sightings had been caused by temperature inversion, where a layer of warm or trapped air, a layer of warm air is trapped under cold air. This can give rise to mirages, both visual and radars. Distance lights on the ground can be reflected in the sky, giving the impression of a flying, shimmering object. This did not convince some people who scented a cover-up and argued that pilots and radar operators were familiar with temperature inversions. However, when flying saucers subsequently failed to land in the White House lawn, the sightings dropped out of the public awareness and into UFO history. Temperature inversions. Those were not UFOs you saw. That was temperature inversions. Oh wait, was it? No, this one wasn't. This was temperature. And that's kind of like swamp gas, right? Just pretend you're stupid and just go along with their plan, because that's what they want you to do. Just play along with them, okay? Here's another one. This is a UFO sighting posted by Denise Coffey. UFO sighting in Killing. Sherry Racine doesn't appear to be a crazy woman. She lives with her 11-year-old son in an in-law apartment of her parents' house in Danielson. The 36-year-old school bus driver for Killing was watching television late Monday, July 11, when she saw a light hovering above the trees behind the large ranch where she lives. She thought it was odd, since she lives about 400 feet down the driveway off Ledge Road on a 34-acre piece of property. Ledge Road is a part dirt, part pavement, and cuts from Valley Hill to Shippey Schoolhouse Road in a very rural position on the town. There is almost 2 miles of undeveloped land between the backyard and the Brick House Road to the south. Slightly more than 3 miles lie between Ledge Road and Bear Hill Road to the north. The trees are dense around the house, dense all along the road. Oaks, pines, birch, typical broadleaf mix common to this part of Connecticut. There are neighbors on the road, but none are close, and no lights save the ones issuing the house illuminating from the area. Racine isn't used to seeing lights late at night in the backyard behind the house, but this object, she said, hovered in the air, and its lights twinkled red, blue, and white. It seemed more like 2 bands to her, with the colored lights glowing from the corners and the white lights blinking along the middle, top, and bottom of the object. She took her Sony A350 digital camera, fastened a zoom lens onto it, went outside and took a few pictures. It was 11:40 p.m. The house in Racine lives in belongs to her parents, George and Starlet Length. Her in-law apartment has a walkout exit to the backyard. A short lawn separates the sliding door from the dense woods only 50 feet away. From there, the woods slope down to what George Length estimates to be 7 to 9 acres of swampy area. The spaced woods between the lawn and the swamp is about 400 yards, Length estimates. It was over the swampy area that the Racine shed saw the hovering lights. They were just below the tree level at the edge of the swamp. Mature white oaks and white pines reached between 80 and 100 feet. She and her father estimate the lights were about 60 to 70 feet above the swampy area. July 11th was a cloudy night, she said. There were no stars, no moon. I know it wasn't a moon. The young woman went on to laugh. She watched the lights for about half an hour. The lights thing stayed mostly in one area, moving slowly when it did. It lit up the woods, almost like a spotlight, she said, but it wasn't a spotlight. The light was diffused. Maybe that one's swamp gas, right? Maybe that's what their explanation will be, swamp gas. Okay, here's another one. This is a sighting from Venezuela. All right. All right, what do you think about this one here? This is a pretty good size object right here. This not too long ago. Alright, so what do you think of this one? This one is most interesting. Let's skip ahead, see if there's anything changes with it. So as you can see from this image here, there are more and more of these types of sightings being seen, little clearer pictures that are coming from those who are sending these type of images in. They're being scanned, they're being, as you can see here, they're put through different programs to check and make sure that it isn't something like swamp gas, because if it was swamp gas, if it was a weather anomaly, when you put it through various filters, it wouldn't show up in the same manner. It would be a little bit different. In this regard, as you can see, the object looks the same regardless of what filter is put on it. It doesn't dissipate. So there's something to this object which might have some reality to it. Unlike the first one, which, quite possibly is a hoax in itself. We will find out more. I'm going to investigate about the first one. You can find out more about all these at firstcontactradio.com. Right-hand side of the page is our UFO news link. You can go there for all the news and information. And that is our UFO news for today. Let's jump to a song. Just catch a little bit of this, and I'll be right back with some more news and information. Here you go. This is Roswell.
Headline edition, July 8th, 1947.
One day, I was looking to the sky. I saw it. Up above the clouds, it was a silver shiny disc floating high above the ground. Then I saw them waving to me. It was E.T. and his family. Something happened up the street from the ground. Through the sky, they shot the UFO down. Roswell, E.T. didn't make it home. Roswell, E.T. didn't make it home.
The Army Air Force has announced that a flying disc has been found and is now in the possession of the Army.
One day, I was looking to the sky. I saw a UFO shot down. It was a silver shiny disc broken in pieces on the ground. Then I saw them lying there. bodies scattered everywhere. Something happened, a military show picked up the pieces and the case was closed. Roswell, he didn't make it home. Roswell, he didn't make it home.
Army officers say...
All right, welcome back. E.B. didn't make it home, but maybe things are going to change because, well, maybe they're going to come back and get E.B. And maybe that's what it's all about, huh? We've seen the movies. E.T. gets stuck down here. We know the stories about Roswell and the aliens are left behind. What if all of this is a reconnaissance mission and a recovery operation to come get the ones who are down here being held captive by the Earthlings, by the Americans, and the other agencies that are hanging on to them and cutting them up and shooting at them when they're in the sky? That could be the problem, you know. On this show, we have a couple of sayings. One of them is, do not shoot at the UFOs, just in case they are here to help you. Now, we've got a bunch of news today. Let's jump right into it. This first story here comes to us from the RSN, reader-supported-news.org, calls Mount to investigate Bush-era officials for torture. Washington, July 12. Senior officials under the former George W. Bush administration knowingly authorized the torture of terrorism suspects held under United States custody. A Human Rights Watch report released here Tuesday revealed. Titled, Getting Away with Torture, the 107-page report presents a plethora of evidence that HRW says warrants criminal investigation against former Vice President Dick Cheney, former Secretary of Defense Donald Rumsfeld, former Central Intelligence Agency Director George Tenet, and Bush himself, amongst others. Newly declassified memos, transcriptions of congressional hearings, and other sources indicate that Bush officials authorized the use of interrogation techniques almost universally considered torture, such as waterboarding, as well as the operation of covert CIA prisons abroad and the rendition of detainees in other countries where they were subsequently tortured. HRW also criticized the United States under the current Barack Obama administration for failing to meet its obligations under the United Nations Convention Against Torture to investigate acts of torture and other inhumane treatment. President Obama has defended the decision not to prosecute officials in his predecessor's administration by arguing that the country needs to look forward, not backward, said HRW Executive Director Kenneth Roth. He has treated torture as an unfortunate policy choice rather than a crime. Now there's more to this story here. This is going to be linked up at firstcontactradio.com. The daily news stories are where you can find this. Here's another story here from the Inquirer.net. It is Zuckerberg closes off Google Plus account so he can't be tracked. Possible social network founder Mark Zuckerberg has lost his lofty position as the most popular Google Plus user and appears to have dropped out of the rankings altogether. Zuckerberg was the top of the Google Plus ratings as late as Tuesday evening, and when we last looked, had some 21,213 followers and 39 friends. Today, he is nowhere to be seen and has been replaced by Robert Scoble, the man who confirmed to us all that this Zuckerberg was the real Zuckerberg. Name drop moment. Zuckerberg just texted me back, says, "Why are people so surprised that I'd have a Google account?" said the Schobler on his Twitter feed. Zuckerberg's loss to Scoble's gain, ironically, as it is that he is now the most friends, 3,645, and followers 43,131. All right, well, there's more to this story. You can go check it out yourself. Follow the link on our page to the daily news. But it's quite interesting because we hear about all the information about Facebook and the security and privacy issues that are there. And here, Zuckerberg certainly doesn't want to have his privacy affected, so he's cutting off his ties, apparently, with the Google Plus. Maybe he knows something. You know, there's a lot of talk out there and chatter in the forums about this, about what he's doing. I think it's very interesting just to kind of pay attention. You know, is he CIA? Was he involved with CIA at the time? Or was he just a student that created something and then the CIA latched onto? Most likely that's the case. What kind of a person is he? I don't know. The movie portrays him as somebody who betrayed his friends and those he was associated with. That doesn't paint a good picture of a person of integrity. But then again, don't believe everything you read or watch in a Hollywood movie, because that's not always the truth either. Moving right along, here's another one. This regards everybody in the meetings that are going on. Obama abruptly walks out of debt ceiling talks, Republican Cantor says. President Barack Obama abruptly walked out of today's White House meeting with legislative leaders on federal deficit. Majority House Leader Eric Cantor told reporters. Cantor said he told Obama, "We are far apart on proposals to cut the deficit and raise the U.S. debt limit. The president got very agitated and said, "Don't call my bluff. I am going to the American people." Cantor, a Virginia Republican, said Obama shoved himself back from the table and left. "We're so far apart, and this is going back on the momentum," Cantor said. Follow this link here. So Obama's not our friend. Obama's never been a friend. As a matter of fact, his name's not even Obama. It is Barry Soetoro. Barry Soetoro from Kenya. Okay? There's lots of information clarifying, confirming exactly what I'm saying. Don't believe the birth certificate that he put out. It's a fraud. And he's just trying to get other people to believe. Again, the birth certificate falls into the category of how dumb do you think we really are? Okay. Now, in regards to our credit problem here, this is from zerohedge.com, and it says Moody places USA's AAA government bond rating and related ratings on review for possible downgrade. Moody Investor Service has placed the AAA bond rating of the government of the United States on review for possible downgrade, given the rising possibility that the statutory debt limit will not be raised on a timely basis, leading to default on U.S. Treasury debt obligations. On June 2nd, Moody had announced the rating review would be likely in mid-July unless there was a meaningful progress in negotiations to raise the debt limit. In conjunction with the action, Moody has placed on review for possible downgrade the AAA ratings of financial institutions directly linked to the U.S. government: Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, the Federal Home Loan Banks, the Federal Farm Credit Banks. We have also placed on review for possible downgrade securities, either guaranteed by, backed by collateral securities issued by, or otherwise directly linked to the U.S. government or the affected financial institutions. Basically, folks, there's a problem. There's a problem with the United States. It looks like they want to allow this thing to default. We'll see what happens if maybe in the 11th hour they're going to step up and have some sort of temporary solutions. What I have to say to you is just be prepared, because you can't trust your governments, not at all. When you have politicians who are in the presidency that aren't even American citizen, that presented a fraudulent birth certificate and are using two social security numbers, one of which comes from Connecticut, neither of which he or his father have ever been, you have a situation that doesn't make sense. When will the American people understand that they've been fooled? Maybe they don't care anymore. Has apathy gone that far that we can have someone in the office who does not have the same ideals as the average American citizen and is going to run this country down the tubes? Does anybody care about that? I think our founding fathers care, and I'm sure they're rolling over in their graves over and over and over. All right, our next story here, in regards to, well, let's jump to this one first. We all know about Rupert Murdoch and what we've been hearing. Well, this one here says Rupert Murdoch admits to propaganda supporting the Bush war. Here we go.
For example, take the war. I'm not just talking about the United States, but in terms of you having a global media enterprise, I mean, have you shaped that agenda at all in terms of perceptions of the war, in terms of how the war is viewed?
No, I didn't think so. I mean, we tried.
Tried in what way?
Well, we basically supported our papers and our television. I would say supported the Bush policy in the Middle East.
All right, so they basically, he's stumbling over his words a little bit, basically supported the Bush policy, which was war, to go out and kill without any justification for it for oil. Now, this brings a thought to mind. There's a lot of concern and talk about the UFO alien agenda, that they're going to come down here and attack us. We hear stories about aliens coming down, raping the planet of its natural resources. Well, let's go back a minute to the story of the reptilians. We have stories that go all the way back to Africa, and the stories that Credo Mutwa talks about, that is pretty known out there, about these beings that came down in ships, reptilian type beings that were able to shapeshift, look human, look like they did. Those beings are still here on this planet. They have not left. They are the ones robbing the planet. They are the ones in the administration. They are the Bushes, and they are the others around the world that are all part of this strange robbery of the planet that is taking place. There's a lot to the story. I'm just barely touching the topic at all. But look up reptilians. Look up the connection with the royal family, with the Bush family, with the other families on this planet that have gone into power and have created problems here. Our planet is being robbed by aliens. But the aliens are not coming down. They're already here. They're part of the very institutions that you are a part of as well. Except they're lying to you. And they're not being honest with you. So we need to pay attention where the problems are. Problems are not outside coming in. Problems are here. We need to fix them. The beings that are out there, the brothers and sisters from space, they want to assist and help. But they're not just going to step in and fix our problems for us unless we ask for them to step down and help. Okay? We need to grow up and we need to take care of our own problems. First thing is we need to recognize where the lies and corruption are down here, and we need to solve those on our own by getting rid of the problems. First acknowledge them, then find a way to get rid of them. We have to quit being apathetic, because all that does is continue to foster that problem so it continues on. That's not doing anybody any good. Here in America, we're about to find out how good they're going to do for us once this August date passes. I already have a president who's threatening Social Security. Now that's not right. Scaring people. Shame on you, Obama. Shame on you, Barry Soetoro. What's wrong with you? You're scaring people. Quit doing that. Why don't you go back to Kenya and we can just pretend that you never existed here. We'll fix the problems one way or another, but we don't need you. You're not part of us. You're not an American, and you're no good. You're no good, man. So get out. Now, here's a story which is calls for the U.S. News Corps to go through an investigation. Listen to this.
Of discontent in Washington about whether news of the world-style phone hacking has been happening here are getting louder. A number of leading senators are calling for a probe into possible News Corporation misconduct, especially allegations in one British newspaper that Rupert Murdoch's journalists tried to bribe a policeman for the contact information of victims of the September the 11th attacks.
The concept that somebody would have been trying to violate their privacy after they were dead by trying to hack into their voicemails is going to be outrageous and grotesque to all Americans.
In the US, the main Murdoch properties include the venerable Wall Street Journal, the tabloid New York Post, and the right-wing Fox News channel.
News on News Corp today.
Covering this scandal has proved a challenge for Fox, especially on the day News Corp pulled out of plans to buy all of Britain's main satellite TV provider, B-Sky B.
This doesn't mean, Patty Ann, that News Corp won't revisit the plan sometime down the road, but for now it's been scrapped.
While Murdoch doesn't wield as much direct political influence in the US as in Britain, where politicians fear his media power and know that his support increases their chances of getting elected, US politicians of both parties seem hesitant to speak out, knowing that the Murdoch press has a long memory. On the left,
Are you familiar with that?
No, I'm not familiar with that. But on the first
And on the right, where politicians regularly reference the September the 11th attacks when appearing on the Republican-supporting Fox News channel.
I'm just starting to watch that scandal on phone hacking evolve, and I don't know enough about it.
But campaign groups think if Murdoch's journalists are caught cheating, the price he will pay in America could be enormous.
The full weight of the American political establishment will come down on Mr. Murdoch if that turns out to be true.
The feeling is while politicians don't see eye to eye on much on Capitol Hill these days, they will agree any alleged efforts to hack the phones of the victims of the 9/11 attacks merits a thorough public hearing. John Terrett, Al Jazeera, Washington.
All right, and the truth shall set us free, my friends. This is a time where truths are going to come out. We should consider these minor victories. Look at the things that are going on. We have calls for Bush and the Bush administration to be investigated. We've got news coming out about Rupert Murdoch and his scandals and the News Corp and how that's going to affect news. Just need to keep putting the pressure on, my friends. Keep putting the pressure on because their house of cards and house of lies is going to fold. We just need to keep at it. And last but not least, well, I don't think this is a story here. It's just a picture of a monkey. So we're just going to go away from the picture of the monkey. And last, oh, we got space weather right here. Almost forgot. All right, today it says there's a full moon tonight. According to folklore, it's called the Thunder Moon, named after the booming electrical storms of summer. Watch for lightning and enjoy the thunder moonlight. All right, so that is tonight. Go out, enjoy the sky, pay attention to what's going on. Maybe you'll see some flying saucers up there. Maybe you will. Now, I thought it's interesting. Just the other day, there's talk that they discovered this sonic boom in space. And strange or interesting coincidence that at the same time where here's the thunder moon, some news comes out about a sonic boom in space. It's kind of thunderous, don't you think? Maybe there's a connection. Maybe there isn't. I don't know. Just reporting to you the different connections of things that I'm seeing out there. And now, moving right along, what I'd like to do with the shows. And we really think a lot about what we present here. We are not interested in giving you a doom and gloom scenario without a solution. We want to make sure that you are informed about what's going on in the world, because being informed and aware, well, that's half of the problem. Okay? But we want to provide a solution. We want something that's going to leave you feeling good about yourself, because I'm telling you, to go day in, day out and look at all the bad stuff that's going on in the world could be real depressing. But the objective here is not to be depressed, but to find a way to move through these challenges into better days ahead. And that's the promise that's out there. If we look and read through the various spiritual texts that are out there, like the Book of Revelation, for example, we see that there are problems, but ultimately good wins out. The devil is thrown back down into his own imprisonment, and there are years of peace. So these times are ahead of us. We need to get through the challenging times. And so what I want to do is, at the end of these shows, I always bring the prayer in, because we want to end on a positive note, thinking about other people in the world rather than ourselves, thinking about how we are all connected. That in mind, this story here is a story of inspiration. And I saw it today and I thought, you know, this needs to be told, and I'm going to look for more inspirational stories like this to tell at the end of every show, as well as continue on with the prayer and the meditation. So, that being said, here is this story of inspiration. And where's our sound here? Hold on a second. Our sound seems to have gone away.
I'm Diana Nyad. I'm 61 and I am...
Alright, hold on a second here. Let me fix this for a second. Okay. Alright, well, it goes through its little commercial here. I'm going to, well, this won't take very long. Alright, here we go.
I'm Diana Nyad. I'm 61 and I am hoping to be the first person ever to swim the 103 miles from Havana, Cuba, to the Keys in Florida. I'm not sure I could name another sport that's more grueling. What I have to get set for is 60 hours without a shark cage. I can't touch the boat and hold on. I can't use a wetsuit or hold on to a rope. I take a little under 1,000 calories an hour for 2.5 days. Could a human body really do that?
When I first saw the swim, I just thought it's impossible. I'm an ocean sailor. I cross oceans in sailboats. It's just so far, 3 days with just a bathing suit, goggles, and a hat. It's the extreme end of what humans can do.
Last summer, 2010, I did a 24-hour swim, thinking Cuba was going to be right away, like in the next 2-3 weeks, ready to go, and things happened. Unprecedented series of Atlantic hurricanes. The Cuban visas didn't come through in time. After having to push the swim a year later and training a year longer, it's been better. I was the premier distance swimmer of the 1970s, and I did break the 50-year-old record for swimming around Manhattan, and I also swam the longest swim in history in the ocean at that time, which is 102.5 miles. When I retired at 30, I was done. It's very tough on the body and the mind. I don't flash back to those days too much. Manhattan Island swim was when I was 25 years old. Well, I blinked, and then I was 60. And 60 hit me hard. And I think it was just all those typical feelings of that deep breath of, it goes by very quickly. I've decided that the best remedy for that angst is just to grasp something that would require all of me. Every moment of passion and strength and belief that I could come up with. This Cuba swim is demanding all of that. The point-to-point measurement between Havana and Key West, that's 103 miles as the crow flies. You're trying to navigate across the Gulf Stream. So we're going to have to angle and swim easterly with it, and then every chance we get, try to angle back and get to the Keys. I'm going to be going through 2 entire nights, and that's what brings the sharks in. If it's dark, we try to keep it dark because white lights attract bait fish.
We've got kayakers with shark repellents alongside. We're going to have shark divers in rubber dinghies who can roll out and prod sharks away. We've got as many systems as possible to repel them.
I'm ready. I really am. I'm duly afraid, but when this swim is done, I want to live like this. Because I go to bed these days with no regrets whatsoever. Because it does erase all that worry about, am I doing enough? Am I not living large? And I used to think, well, this is only for young people. But it isn't. Maybe I didn't do what I should have done in my 20s or my 30s or my 40s or my 50s. But if I can just do everything I can today, then I'll say at least I lived it all with gusto.
All right, well, we certainly wish good luck for Diana and hope that she does well on her swim, but quite inspirational. You know, the human being, earthlings, are capable of quite amazing things. You know, certainly capable of creating a lot of disaster and destruction, but on the other side of the coin, humans can create some really amazing things, from, you know, the ideas that they come up with to the books that are written, to the movies that are made, to the buildings that are created, to the way in which we communicate with each other. Look how the internet has grown and flourished in our ability to communicate. I mean, that's pretty amazing, considering how we've evolved. Look at our sciences and our maths, how they have evolved. Look at how down here we've come to really grow in our outlook of spirituality. All the different religions and faiths, and the way that we are able to understand and explore all the different ways that we inspire ourselves and reach towards a higher goal, a higher aspiration. That is what this life is all about. Getting through the challenges is something we all have to go through, but the idea is about past the challenges and to the inspirations that we create by doing those things. Okay? So I went and I dug out this Bible verse here, and I'm going to use this one for today, and I'm going to bring different ones in on different days. But this particular one is the 23rd Psalm, and this is something that really carries a lot of weight and importance. And if you ever find yourself in a challenging moment, this is something good that you can recite that will bring some inspiration and help you feel good about yourself and feel a little bit, feel that you're not alone in things. This is the 23rd Psalm, written by David. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside still waters. He restoreth my soul, and he lead me in the path of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me, with thy rod and thy staff to comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely thy goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. That is the 23rd Psalm. And again, if you find yourself in a moment where you just need to know that you're not alone in this life, if you need to find some moment of inner strength or something, use the 23rd Psalm. It really has an amazing healing property to it that there's just something magical about it. So I've used this many a times, and I just thought that it would be good to bring it to your attention. I'm sure that you're already aware of it, but I just wanted to remind you about it once again. All right? That is the 23rd Psalm, and I am going to, one more thing here. I have this book, Warrior of the Light. I like to read passages out of here from time to time. So let's pick one out here, and it says, each warrior of the light contains within him a spark of God. His destiny is to be with other warriors, but sometimes he will need to practice the art of the sword alone. This is why, when he is apart from his companions, he behaves like a star. He lights up his allotted part of the universe and rises and tries to point out galaxies and worlds to all those who gaze up at the sky. The warrior's presence will soon be rewarded. The warrior's persistence, will soon be rewarded. Gradually, other warriors approach, and they join together to form constellations, each with their own symbols and their own mysteries. So, whatever's going on in the world, whether you're by yourself or with a group, we all have an opportunity to be spiritual warriors. To practice that. So practice the art of being a spiritual warrior, my friends. Practice that. We're going to do that right now. I am going to go ahead and we're going to do a quick little meditation here. And what we're going to do today is real simple. We're going to turn on all of our chakras. We've done this before, so let's close your eyes. I want you to imagine at the bottom of your spine the color red. You have a chakra, an energy center at the bottom of your spine. Imagine the energy being drawn from the earth up into your spine. Imagine the color red. Feel that energy there, and then allow that energy to rise up, rising up the middle part of your body from that lower area up a little bit above it right to your belly button. And there imagine the color orange. And this is your second chakra, and this is the chakra that deals with your emotional body. Now from there, raise the energy up to the chakra above it. The color is yellow, and this is right at the solar plexus. It's just below the rib cage. This is a yellow chakra, and it's the chakra that guides over the intellect. From this chakra, raise the energy up to the heart chakra, right in the middle of the chest, and imagine the color green. Imagine the color green. Imagine the feeling of love and the energy that's released from that heart chakra. From the heart chakra, raise the energy up to the next chakra above it, which is right at the throat. This is the throat chakra. The color is blue. This is ruling over our communication, the way we express ourselves. From the throat chakra, raise the energy up to the third eye. The third eye is right between the two eyes, right over the top of the nose. And the color is violet. From there, raise the energy up to the top of your head. That's the crown chakra. The color is indigo. And then allow the energy just to connect upwards. It turns to bright white light as you are connected both above and below and above. And as you are connected and all your chakras are turned on, there is a multicolored energy flowing through your body. Feel it. Feel the warmth of this energy. Feel the coolness of this energy. For it is a whole combination of all kind of temperatures together. Feel what it feels like for that energy in your body. For this is your energy. And then just allow your body to overflow and be filled with this energy so it forms this line of light all around your body as it overflows. That is your spiritual armor. It's there for you to turn on anytime you need to. It is part of our energy system. It's part of the spacesuit that we wear, these spacesuits of life. Now, last but not least, I want you to imagine the word love, and just imagine sending out love all around the planet. Imagine sending love all around in all directions and knowing that at the same time that you're doing this, there are others all around the world connecting in the same way. Feel the love that they are sending out and know that they are feeling the love that you are sending out. And as you are thinking of love and this positive ideas and good positive thoughts for the day, hold that in mind while you bring your energy and attention back to the present moment. Let's do so on the count of 5. 5, coming back to the present moment filled with confidence. 4, coming back to the present moment filled with faith. 3, coming back to the present moment strengthened by the experiences of the past. 2, coming back to the present moment aware of who you are, what it is you need to do. And 1, come back to the present moment happy, healthy, and whole. Shake out your arms and your legs. Shake out your arms and your legs. And that is it, my friends. That is the end of the meditation. That is the end of another show. I appreciate you being here. Dirk appreciates you being here. FirstContactRadio.com is the site where you can check us out. We keep all these news and stories up there and links to a lot of great places where you can go and continue to learn along. And just remember, believe in yourself, believe in others, because we're all in this together. Whatever challenges are going on, we can all get through them. We just have to believe that we can. And that in itself will take us a long, long way. For Dirk Bradshaw, my name's Josh Poet. It's been a pleasure as always. I'll be back tomorrow. Peace. I'm out of here.